We'll start with number one. What is the disability?
The disability is blindness due to a accident.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when were you diagnosed?
Pretty much right after the accident, when I was 16, almost 17.
Yeah.
Pretty much after that.
How was the visual impairment acquired? How did it happen?
It was a gunshot accident.
And it just kind of, you and your buddies were out and...
Yes, we were getting ready to leave where I lived and handed over the 14 shotgun. And one of my friends that I gave it to, it just accidentally went off.
Yeah.
As I was getting ready to open the door to the car,
Yeah.
backseat,
Yeah.
and it went off. So from that moment,
It was just...
it was pretty much it. I mean, as far as blindness.
Yeah, it was just instant. Like, as soon as it happened, that was...
Yeah. Pretty much, yes.
So what are your everyday routines?
Everyday routines, because I'm unemployed now for the past 10 years, going on 11 years. Let's see, I wake up around 6:30, sometimes earlier. Grab some coffee, if there's some coffee in the coffee pot to get me going. Sometimes I turn on the news on the radio, NPR, catch up on what's going on. But there's some days I do stuff around the house, wash the dishes, breakfast dishes. Usually there's clothes in the dryer, washer to kind of, put away.
Yeah.
Some other days, I sweep and mop and vacuum. And
What hobbies do you have? What do you like to do?
The only main hobby I have, you want to call a hobby, is I do listen to quite a bit of books that I get from the Lending Library for the blind, and I get anywhere from 3 to 5 books a week. I don't read all of them, but maybe out of those 3 or 5 a week, it might be 1 or 2 that I'll keep and I'll listen to them. Have about 3 to 4 weeks to listen to them. So I do that. Like I said, I try to keep up with what's going on in the world as far as news. And talk radio, some of it. I can't take too much of that. Only certain things. Certain things. It gets overwhelming, some of the stuff they talk about.
Yeah.
Repetitious.
And I know you like your music too. Would that consider that as a...
I don't... Yeah, I do. I like jazz music. I like...
To just sit down and kind of...
That's something I enjoy, the music. And of course now with internet and things like that, there's quite a bit of range of, the music that's out there.
Yeah. How severe is your disability?
Total blindness.
Yeah.
No light perception, nothing like that.
Yeah. And which answers the next question: do you have any sense of light or color?
No.
No. Okay, we can go straight on. Do you have any assistance pertaining to your disability, financially or physically?
The assistance financially would only be my disability check.
Yeah.
Of course, my wife does work. She's thankfully still able to work.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and physically,
I don't get any food stamps. I don't get any other kind of financial assistance. Just that.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
As far as financial.
Yeah. Any assistance in mobility or transportation?
Okay. Around here in the house, I'm pretty mobile. I can get around the house.
Yeah.
I can go outside the house. I can go up all around the property without any assistance. Once I get out of the house, I do depend on somebody, whoever I'm with, for guidance or anything like that. I'm not able to leave the house on my own as far as independently, because first of all, there's not that much public transportation.
Yeah. Do you currently use any assistive technology?
Limited, because at my age, I missed out on some of the technology that's available out there, such as computers. I do have what's called digital reader, which it's a place of audio books.
Yeah.
Digital books now. It's something that's fairly new for the blind, and I've been using that for, I think, almost 3 years. They just came out with it. Before that, it was on cassette. The books were on cassette.
Yeah.
Now it's on a digital cartridge. I recently got a new little gadget, and that was it's called a currency reader. And what it is it's a little gadget about the size of a I don't know cartridge,
Mm-hmm.
and you put a paper bill,
Mm-hmm.
money such as a dollar bill, five, whatever the amount is, 1, 5, 10, 20, all the way to 100, and it tells you the what it is. It identifies it.
Yeah. Have you received any therapy or rehabilitation? And guess what we mean by that is, as far as like Braille or any kind of thing related to that, or things that would help you.
Yes, I about 10 months after the accident, those 10 months I spent at home. I wasn't able to go to public school. I missed out on a year of public school. That would have been my 10th year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I started hearing about the School for the Blind, Austin, and through the rehab teacher, the agency at that time was called the State Commission for the Blind. It now has another name.
Mm-hmm.
The State Commission for the Visually Impaired, I think, if I remember the name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called now. At the time, public schools were not equipped for people that were blind,
Yeah.
so they would be sent to the state school in Austin. And so that's where I went, and I finished the last 3 years of high school there, graduated from there, and I learned skills. I learned some Braille. I didn't
Yeah.
learn it very well because I was still trying to adjust and adapt to my disability. I had a hard time with it.
Yeah.
But the main skill that I did learn was mobility. And they would give you an objective to locate a business or an address. And from there you moved into downtown area,
Wow.
downtown Austin. And your lesson was to leave the school, get on the bus, make sure it was the right bus,
Yeah.
go into the address you were told by your instructor to find. Go there, find it, get back on the bus, and make it back to school.
Yeah.
And that was a training to do that. And once you fulfill all those lessons, they would give you a little certificate saying that you completed your training in mobility and
Yeah.
you were able to leave the school independently without anybody helping you.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go on your own.
Yeah.
And I was able to find a full-time employment here in Harlingen for almost 29 years.
Wow.
Till
Yeah.
technology changed and I was out of a job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What's answers the second? Well, the
next
next question is: are you currently employed? But as
No.
you told us earlier, yeah, it's been about 10 years since you worked at.
As of November of 2004, I've been unemployed and
Yeah.
had to go with disability.
How has this disability affected your life? Did you face any challenges? Which you've already touched on that a little bit. Yeah.
You know, it was a drastic change from being sighted almost 17 years and then overnight. I mean, in just a moment's time, it
Yeah. Just like that.
changed,
Yeah.
completely changed. I was totally unprepared. I'd never known anybody who was blind, never been around anybody who was blind. My family was never around anybody who was blind or any kind of disability. So it was very challenging, and I didn't know
Yeah.
what I would be able to do. Neither did my family, and it was quite a bit of an adjustment, not only for me but for my family.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for them, especially parents, to let go of a child and send them off 300 miles away to school with the type of disability that I had.
Yeah. How were you able to adjust?
How I would say support from family.
Mm-hmm.
Most important is support from family. They encourage you. That they don't come across as overly protective to where they don't want to let you do
Yeah.
certain things that you want to do. Then of course, education, where you're able to go to school,
Mm-hmm.
and that your education not only provides academic education but also skills that you need
Yeah.
to live independently. And of course, the person themselves has to have some willingness to want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have that, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other thing that helped me, that I would say is very important, that people with disabilities miss out on, is the spiritual aspect or faith.
Yeah.
You know, in a God.
Brings us to our last question. What or who has been your support system, which you have kind of already told me,
right?
You know, and
I would say the family.
Yeah.
First of all, if you're blessed to have a family, in my case, I had parents and siblings, and then second to that, it's to live in a country that gives you the opportunity to gain education and it offers, you know, opportunities such as to where you can learn skills, so on and so forth. And in my case, my experience has been the church, the local church, and that has been a big part of my life. That's what has helped me. It's been a big support.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you.
Okay.
Mr. Duran. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you. We're going to share this experience with you.